Squid Game Season 3 dropped on June 27th, 2025, and immediately shattered viewing records with over 60 million views in just 3 days. But fans are split. Some standouts are beloved, others downright despised. Today, we're ranking the most loved and most hated characters of Season 3. Let's dive into it. Now, my name is Kev Secure the Bag, and if you guys enjoyed this content, I would greatly appreciate if you guys hit the like and also subscribe, as well as hitting the notification bell for more Squid Game content. The first character on the most loved list is Kim Joon-hee, player 222, and for obvious reasons, she became a fan favorite due to her empathy toward Gi-hun. Plus, the gut-wrenching pregnancy storyline made her an emotional anchor. Fans described her as street smart with heart, and even though her life in the Squid Game universe was short-lived, her presence created the main storyline of this season. So let's go ahead and go to the next player. Cho Hun-ju, player 120, was also one of the fan favorites this season. This trans ex-soldier was praised for authentic representation. Park Sung-hoon's performance was considered real and respectful by critics. The introduction of this character also caused a lot of controversy, considering the fact that transitioning is not as popular in Korea as it is in the States. So the next on the list of loved characters is Hwang Joon-ho, which is the brother of the frontman, and the return of the detective added continuity. Fans were thrilled despite complaints his arc was overwhelming, and he is the only person on this list that managed to make it out alive. Now, he was not a member of the games, but he did put his life at risk multiple times. And I was actually wrong. The next person on this list also made it out alive, and that is Kong No-woo. Now, I know I just butchered that word, but she did play a huge part into this season, and for the first time we get to see an empathetic guard. And she did everything to protect player 246. Now, I know she did kill a lot of people, but still, we're going to go ahead and throw her on the most loved list. Simply because the writers did everything in their power to display her empathetic side. And now for the last person on the most loved list, we have Gi-hun's childhood friend, Jung Bae. Now, we were introduced to Jung Bae in the first episode of the first Squid Games, and he is the one that is making the horse bets alongside Gi-hun. And he was used as a pawn to break Gi-hun throughout the entire season. And the front man even directly apologizes to Gi-hun for this. But it's safe to say he was one of our favorite characters while he was alive. All right, so now that we talked about the most loved characters, let's talk about the most hated characters. Okay, so first up, we got Lee Myung-gi, player 333. Hands down, the most loathed. He betrayed everyone, even his own baby, for victory. One headline even called him the worst character in Squid Game history. Now, while I won't go that far, I will say his character never sat right with me. I could never truly understand if he was a good or a bad person. Therefore, I didn't really care for his character. But now next up, we got the character known as Thanos. And now a lot of people like Thanos for his personality. However, a lot of people did not like Thanos, considering he was pretty annoying and he just did nothing but bully people. Therefore, we're gonna go ahead and put Thanos on the most hated list. Now, the next person on the list and the most obvious is player 100. Now, I guarantee you that the writers intentionally meant for everyone to hate player 100. But let me say, this man did a great job. And in terms of the story, I would consider him a poor man's Deok-soo from the first season. Now, he wasn't nearly as strong as him or nearly as aggressive, but as terms as characters that you just would love to hate, he definitely fit them shoes perfectly. And now the next people on this list are the VIPs. Now, the VIPs are intentionally meant to be annoying, but still, it's just so hard to like them, considering all they do is just watch people die and say a bunch of corny jokes. Next person on this list is player. Now, was the religious character. And I feel like this is a Squid Game thing that they always add in, where there's always that annoying religious person. But I find it both humorous and somewhat annoying. But I guess it's just a big joke on how just because someone's religious doesn't mean they're perfect, and how people will try to hide behind God. And I think that is the whole point of it. And I find it very funny, also true, which in that case is dark humor. And for the last person on my most hated list is none other than the front man, Hwang In-ho. Now, this man definitely earned the ho in his name, and if you guys watch, you guys know why. But this man single-handedly is the main reason why we lost a lot of the homies. And as y'all know, I'm sliding for 4, 5, 6, man. So We did see a lot of goodness in him, where we see him deliver Gihan stuff to his daughter as well as the money. And we also see him give a lot of money to his brother as well. And he also takes care of the kid instead of harming it, which is good. But I still believe In-Ho has to be a hated character, considering we wouldn't have lost none of these people if you wouldn't have done all this. And I'm not saying he's the one who runs the game. He's definitely not. He's just a pawn in it. But still. Now that wraps up my list. Thanks for sticking with me through this emotional ride. If you like this breakdown, smash that like button and subscribe for more analyses, theory deep dives, and everything Squid Game. Comment below with your top loved and least favorite characters. And like I said, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and join the conversation, because Squid Game sparks real emotion.